From ancient times to this day, temples have always been sacred places where people seek peace, worship, and spiritual connection. Yet, scattered across the world, are temples so strange, mysterious, and terrifying that few dare to go near. These are places where the line between the divine and the supernatural blurs, where gods, curses, and creatures coexist in eerie harmony. Today, let's uncover 8 of the most mysterious and scariest temples in the world, ones that will leave you questioning what truly lies beyond the veil of faith. 1. Karni Mata Temple, Temple of the Sacred Rat in India. In the desert of Rajasthan, India, there exists a temple that makes anyone who hears it shudder. Karni Mata Temple, also known as From afar, this place looks like any other ancient temple, with marble domes and solemn statues of gods. But just step through the first gate. You will immediately be surrounded by tens of thousands of rats running everywhere. On the floor, on the walls, even on the altar. According to legend, the goddess Karni Mata, an incarnation of the goddess Durga, begged the god of death, Yama, to resurrect her son. When her prayer was not granted, she declared that everyone in her clan would be reincarnated as rats. And thus the small animal became sacred to the locals. The temple today is home to about 20,000 rats, called by the respectful name Kaaba. People come here not only to worship, but also bring food for them. Anyone who sees a rat makes a silver or gold statue of a rat to atone for their sins. The hissing sounds that echo throughout the temple, the scents of incense and food mixed together, and the sight of thousands of tiny creatures scurrying underfoot, all create a scene that is both strange and creepy. For Indians, it is a symbol of reverence and immortality. But for visitors from far away, Karni Mata Temple is like a fragile line between faith and fear. Do you dare to step into a place where with every step you take, you might touch a little god, looking up at you with those sparkling black eyes? 2. Snake Temple, the sacred Snake Temple in Malaysia. Amid the thick incense smoke of Penang, Malaysia, there is a place that makes even the bravest of us break out in a cold sweat, the Snake Temple. It was built in 1873 to honor a holy priest, but over time, it became the only temple in the world where hundreds of venomous snakes live alongside humans. As soon as you enter, you will notice the difference. On the temple roof, around the pillars, along the railings, and even on the altar, red-tailed vipers, cobras, green vipers coil lazily in the billowing incense smoke. Under the dim light, their winding bodies shine like slippery silk strips, making the atmosphere in the temple both sacred and cold. Locals believe that these snakes are not ordinary animals, but the incarnations of guardian gods, sent to guard the sanctity of the temple. Strangely enough, for hundreds of years, no one has ever been bitten by a snake here. It seems that between humans and these deadly venomous creatures, there exists some kind of invisible pact, a line between trust and fear. Visitors are advised to observe and not touch the snakes, as even a disrespectful act can make them angry. But perhaps what makes this place most mysterious is not the number of snakes, but the strange feeling of silence when you stand in the middle of hundreds of creatures coiled around you without a single hiss or attack. For Malaysians, Snake Temple is a symbol of protection and reverence for nature. But for visitors, it is a test of the heart. A place where every breath seems to touch the boundary between life and death. Would you dare to kneel down and pray, knowing that just a few centimeters behind your back are snakes silently looking at you with unblinking eyes? 3. The Temple of Pythons. the giant Python Temple in Myanmar. In the midst of Myanmar's ancient land of Mandalay, hidden among dense forests and resplendent golden pagodas, there is a place that makes anyone who steps in feel creepy. The giant Python Temple, where the gods are said to reside in the form of pythons. Legend has it that many years ago, a small temple was built to worship Buddha. But then, one morning, the villagers discovered a pair of giant pythons suddenly crawling up, wrapping themselves around the Buddha statue and lying still for many days. They tried to chase them away, but each time they took them deep into the forest, they returned on their own. Then the monks understood that these were no ordinary animals, but the incarnations of guardian spirits. Since then, the temple has become a home for these giant creatures. During the day, they coil around the pedestal, their scales glistening in the flickering candlelight. At night, they slowly crawl around the temple grounds, as silent as living spiritual currents. The monks still feed, bathe, and pray with them every day. Pilgrims coming here must walk very lightly and speak very softly, because even the slightest loud noise can wake up the pythons sleeping at their feet. Many people say that in the moment standing before the Buddha statue wrapped around by giant pythons, they feel a sacred aura mixed with extreme fear, as if they are being seen through by something beyond human reason. For the people of Myanmar, it is a temple of faith and harmony between man and nature. But for visitors from afar, the Temple of Pythons is an experience both enchanting and terrifying. A place where every glance, every breath reminds us that the spiritual world can be present even in creatures we think of as mere animals. Would you dare to approach to feel the warmth radiating from that giant python's body? Or would you step back, afraid that a god was silently watching you through icy golden eyes? 4. Goa Lawah, Bat Cave Temple. Bat Temple in the Dark Cave in Bali, Indonesia. On the beautiful island of Bali, which people still call Paradise of the Gods, there exists a place of mystical beauty, but also makes people's hearts tremble with fear. Hidden on the cliffs of Klungkung Beach is Goa Lawah Temple, Eerie. Passing through the intricately carved stone gate, you will immediately hear the chirping sound echoing from deep within the darkness. The birds are hanging from the ceiling of the cave, so crowded that it seems as if the stone roof is breathing. They flap their wings wildly every time the temple bell rings, creating a sound that echoes as if from the other world. According to the monks, this temple was built in the 11th century, is one of the oldest Hindu temples in Indonesia. People believe that the Bat Cave is the door to hell, where the snake god Basuki resides, guarding the balance between light and darkness. Therefore, the bats here are not just natural creatures, but guardians of the sacred gate between the two worlds. As the sun sets, the scene at Goa Lawah becomes even more terrifying. Thousands of bats take to the air, filling the sky like a black tornado. Pilgrims kneel silently under the incense smoke, believing that their whistling sounds carry supernatural energy that helps calm the mind in meditation. But for visitors, that moment is like a living nightmare. And under the red sunset, the temple bathed in the sound of bats and the hazy smoke of incense looked like an ancient ritual going on forever. It is said that if you close your eyes in the cave and listen closely, you will hear the whispers of the spirits flying with the bats out of the darkness. Goa Lawah is more than just a temple. It is a testament to the strange connection between humans, nature, and the spirit world. A place of eerie beauty, where faith and fear merge into something sacred that no one can explain. Would you dare stand in the darkness of that bat cave to listen to the sound of 1,000 souls flapping their wings around you? 5. Om Banna Motorcycle Temple. The haunted motorcycle temple in India. On the lonely highway connecting the cities of Jodhpur and Pali in the Indian state of Rajasthan, there is a temple that makes passers-by stop, not to pray for the soul, but to bow before a motorbike. It is or as the locals call it by its mysterious name, the Temple of the Haunted Motorcycle. Legend has it that one night in 1988, a man named Om Singh Rathore, riding his beloved Roy, crashed and died on this very bend. The police took the bike to the police station for investigation, drained the gas, and locked it in a shed. But the next morning, the bike broke down and was found at the exact spot where the accident happened. They took it away again, and every time, the bike always came back. As the story spread, people believed that Om Banna's spirit still lingered on that road, using his bike to protect travelers from accidents. They built a small shrine right on the roadside, placed the Royal Enfield on an altar, decorated with chrysanthemums, oil lamps, and wind chimes. Since then, Om Banna Temple long-distance drivers always stop to burn incense and pray for peace before each long trip. The atmosphere here was both solemn and eerie. Wind chimes tinkled in the desert breeze, and candlelight flickered on the silver paint of the old car. It looked like a smiling spirit in the darkness. For the locals, this temple is more than just a place of worship. It is a symbol of loyalty, love, and belief in the existence of spirits. Amidst the dry and wild lands of Rajasthan, the old Royal Enfield still lies. Machines have souls too. Do you dare to stop? Gently place your hand on that cold steering wheel to feel if Om Banna's spirit is still watching your every breath. 6. The Submerged Shiva Temple. The Temple of Shiva, hidden under the waters of the Indian Ocean. Amid the crashing waves of the coast of Orissa, India, lies a temple that only the truly patient can see. Locals call it the Sunken Shiva Temple, a place both sacred and mystical, appearing only at low tide, then disappearing completely when the water rises, as if it had never existed. According to legend, the temple was built more than 150 years ago to worship Shiva, the destroyer and regenerator of the universe in Hinduism. It is said that after conquering the demon Tarakasura, Shiva chose this place as his resting place, and since then the land around the temple has always been filled with supernatural energy. But then, a giant tsunami washed everything away. Only the temple tower remained in the middle of the sea, as a mark of a vow that was never lost. Today, if you come at the right time, when the tide starts to go out, you will see ancient stone slabs engraved with Sanskrit characters Nondi. No one knows exactly how deep the temple is, or what lies beneath the surface of the water. Archaeologists have tried to dive down to investigate, but many people say they feel a cold air surrounding them. But locals believe that whenever the temple is revealed, it is a sign of purification, a time when the spirits are summoned by Lord Shiva to be reborn. They gather on the beach, burn incense, chant, and pray to the sound of the waves, a harmony between the ocean and the sacred world. Standing before that scene, everyone felt a strange thing. In the middle of the vast ocean, that temple was like a door opening to two worlds, one of humans and one of the gods. Would you dare wait until the tide goes out to see the temple rise from the depths and feel the chill run down your spine as you realize that maybe Shiva is looking at you through the rising waters? 7. Tiger Temple. Tiger Temple and Curse in the deep forest of Thailand. In the dense forests of Kanchanaburi Province, Thailand, there is a temple that once amazed the world, where humans and giant tigers live together in peace. That is Tiger Temple, also known as Wat. a story that is both sacred and tragic, a warning engraved in history. Tiger Temple was originally built as a quiet monastery. Monks discovered several tiger cubs that had lost their mother in the forest and took them in to raise. No one expected that, over time, the number of tigers would increase, and they would become the symbol of the temple. Visitors from all over flocked to the temple, fascinated by the strange sight. CEV. It is believed that these tigers are the incarnations of Buddhist guardian beasts, embodiments of power tamed by faith. But as the halo of reverence fades, begins to creep in. In 2016, a shocking investigation revealed the truth. Inside the seemingly peaceful temple, more than 100 tigers were kept captive, declawed, fanged, and forced to be used as entertainment for tourists. In the sealed rooms, dozens of frozen baby tigers were found, along with evidence of tiger organ trafficking abroad. The whole world was stunned. When the authorities entered, a roar echoed through the forest, no longer the call of nature, but the resentful cries of betrayed souls. The surviving tigers were rescued, the temple was closed, and what had once been a sacred place was left with only a haunting silence. Locals say that on moonlit nights, one can still hear a gloomy roar coming from the deep forest, a symbol of degeneration, where greed has turned the light of the Zen monastery into an abyss of sin. Now, in the middle of the windless forest, only the ruins of a once glorious temple remain. The dusty Buddha statues, the mottled walls, and the sound of wind chimes in the wind sound like the lamentation of heaven and earth. Tiger Temple, once hailed as a paradise of compassion, has become a symbol of natural punishment and human karma. Perhaps amidst the darkness, the tiger spirits are still silently walking through the ruined corridors, guarding so that the lesson of greed is never forgotten. 8. Gurudwara Plane Temple, the mysterious flying bridge temple in India amidst the vast green rice fields of Punjab, India. There is a small temple, but it contains a very great belief. There is no towering tower, no gilded statue of a god. Yet every day, thousands of people still come to pray for one thing only: to fly out into the world, to change their lives, to pursue their dreams. Gurudwara Shahid Baba Nihal Singh Jai, the Temple of Flying Planes. As you pass through the temple gates, you will immediately notice something unusual. On the walls, on the altar, even hanging from the ceiling are hundreds of toy airplane models, big and small, brightly colored, of all types from Boeing to Airbus. All were brought by pilgrims as offerings to the gods. The origins of this unusual tradition lie in a simple story. Years ago, a poor man from Punjab, after being repeatedly denied a visa, came here to pray. A few months later, he received a letter of acceptance for a work permit in the UK. Since then, the villagers have believed that the Saint Baba Nihal Singh blesses those who have the desire to fly. And so, the Temple of Flying Planes was born. Not to worship a specific god, but to honor the belief in the miracle of hope. Every morning, under the warm, golden sunlight, long lines of people line up outside the temple. They carry small airplanes wrapped in red paper, whispering prayers with all their sincerity. The sacred music resonates with the faint scent of incense, making the space here both sacred and strangely indescribable. Although there is no evidence that praying here actually helps anyone fly abroad, people's faith is what creates miracles. For them, the journey to Gurudwara is not just to pray for a visa, but a promise to themselves that they will never stop trying to improve. Amidst the arid lands of Punjab, the small temple still shines in the sunset, with countless model airplanes sparkling in the sunlight. all like a miniature sky where thousands of dreams are waiting to take off. Because sometimes the miracle is not that we can fly far, but that we dare to believe that we can fly. And it is that belief, simple but strong, that has made Ngo one of the most sacred and strange places in the world.